Good evening and welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Podcast. And guess what, folks? We got 7 days. That's 7 days until pitchers and catchers. And I've been feeling it. I'm feeling Tampa. I'm feeling this hat. And I'm feeling you, the audience. Remember, New York Minute. It's New York sports for New York nuts. Chris.
Oh,
Happy Saturday.
happy Saturday.
What's
I'm a
going
little
on,
sad.
Hammer?
I'm a little sad. No football this weekend. It's
Going to be...
There's a big hole in my heart.
Guess what? I'm sorry to inform you. It's going to get bigger. Okay?
I know.
It's going to get... The beatings will continue until morale improves.
The Knicks are keeping me. The Knicks are keeping me afloat.
Knicks are keeping afloat. So what we're going to get to in today's episode, we're going to get to the Knicks. We're going to get to the Yankees. We're going to get to your tri-state area sports teams. But first on the docket, let's talk about the Knicks, because the Knicks now are the third best team in the East behind the Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics, Chris. It seems like Cat and Brunson, first duo of the Knicks to be voted both first-team All-Star team. What do you think about the chemistry with these guys? Do they have the goods to beat the Celtics?
You know, I think yes, 100%. I think Cat has come here and played at a level I didn't really even understand. Like him being in Minnesota, I didn't get to watch him a lot.
Yeah.
Guy's a stud.
Yeah.
Celtics look like they've taken their foot off the gas, and maybe they turn it on in the postseason, but I don't know. They just haven't been as good as they had been in the past, like last year.
I
Not
think
as
the
dominant.
NBA makes a lot for the regular season being thrown to the wayside. For somebody like me who's a basketball fan, wake me up after the All-Star break, because I have to admit, the teams are set. You let 12 teams in nowadays. So even if you got half a heartbeat, you can still actually make it into the playoffs. And I know the seeding's differently and stuff like that, but, you know, everyone's worried about the Knicks' defense right now. It's like, we'll tighten it up when we get to playoff time. When we have to play defense, we can score 140 points right now a night and not play defense and not lower our energy tank, you know, because Tibbs loves to do that with teams.
Look, I love what he's done this past week, going 9 deep in the rotation. And I mean, dude, like Miles McBride was glued to the bench the whole first half of the season. The guy was really good in the playoffs last year because everybody was injured. It was like, just let these guys go. Keep people fresh. You don't have to give them a ton of minutes, but...
Well, the reason that they were able to make that Randall trade, the reason that they were to make all those moves was because of the resurgence of McBride. Him coming off the bench, they were like, okay, we got the guy in-house already. We don't need to pay him any more money. He is a great athlete. He can jump out of the building. He can hit threes. He's a good sixth man for the Knicks, and it's a good change of pace. But I got to admit, I never expected what the Cleveland Cavaliers are doing this year. I mean, they are playing bananas above their head, and it's similar to the Knicks, right? So I was looking at the league leaders last night. You know, the Knicks remind me a lot of the 1990 Yankees, because with the Yankees, no one had over 30 home runs. If you look at the New York Knicks, everybody's averaging about 23 to 25 points, but you got 4 guys doing that. So if you do 20 to 25 points a night, all your starters, you're going to score 120 plus a night. And that's what the Knicks are doing. So, Chris, in your eyes, have you ever seen an offensive Knicks team this offensively talented?
No way.
It was always banging out. Oakley, Mason, these were the guys. And then we were like, yeah, we want to score 81 points a game, and we want to get into, fist fights in the key. And then Carmelo Anthony's Von Novak Linsanity came along. We're like, these guys play no defense. It's all ISO. And now these guys are scoring out of the building, and they can play defense.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing with the Knicks this year that just has me so freaking pumped up for them is, like, if you look at some of the box scores, any given night, it's OG going for 35. It's Towns going for 35. Bridges sometimes goes off for 30 points. Hart, triple-double machine. Like, it can be one of those starting 5 guys who will have a big night. So I feel like in those, you referenced the Melo years, it was like, if Melo didn't score 35, the Knicks didn't even have a shot to win, ever, So, like, that's what has me so excited, because you get into the playoffs and teams do scheme to take away something or someone. And I feel like this Knicks team, if they take one guy away, it's not going to kill them.
No, it's not going to kill him. And also during the trade deadline, they can reinforce that bench. They need another big. They got to bring in the guy from the Washington Wizards. They've been looking at that guy for months. Now
Yeah.
you have the answer in the building in Mitchell Robinson, but the man gets hurt every 2 seconds. And what a lot of people don't remember is he never dribbled a ball in college. He went to Vanderbilt. He was hurt all season for a year, then went to the NBA. So I'm not going to call him damaged goods. That's way too much because Mitchell Robinson, when he's available, has been great. And remember, the best ability is availability, hands down. When Mitchell Robinson's here, he's good. It was like me at a job when I was drinking. When Eric's here, he's great. But when we can't find him half the time. Mitchell Robinson, and then he got our beak wet in the offseason with him dribbling through his legs and hitting threes. And I'm like, what do we have Kristaps Porzingis in our midst?
Dude, I totally agree with Leon Rose looking to make some moves. The hard part is if he doesn't get on the court, like he's the guy that has to be included in any trade to bring a big back. Who's going to trade for him if he hasn't gotten on the court? It's like we're kind of like stuck in this spot that is going to be really, really difficult for Leon Rose to pull a rabbit out of his hat. But I don't think they're done tinkering with the back half of that roster.
They're not. And
no way.
Mitchell Robinson, I don't think Mitchell Robinson will be involved in the trade. I think it's going to be Precious because a lot of people around the league are high on Precious because you got to take into heavy consideration here, Chris, about the finances into the NBA. And I've tried to wrap my head around it, and it's good luck, right? Good luck. Like, loading salary, dumping salaries.
The aprons,
the Pistons send 7 guys and their housekeeper to the Bulls for $11 and a fruit basket. And it's like, what?
And somehow that trade checks out.
And it checks out. One guy's making $78 million and everybody's on food stamps. And it all works out. I have no idea. During the Jimmy Butlers of the world. But this is the first time you look at the Rangers and the Knicks, anybody that plays in MSG, you look at their history, we're always looking for scoring. No matter if it's a winger in for the Rangers, whether it's a big man, whether it's a wing guard, we need another 28 points off the bench. We don't have enough speed or we don't have enough. We got all the offense we want. Yeah. We got the defense in-house, Chris. The call's coming from inside the house, folks. Guess what? Pick it up. It's the Knicks. You're a championship team. Just follow it through. Do you believe that Tibbs can win the big one?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great coach. He hasn't been able to get there.
I didn't ask you if he's a great coach, Chris. I asked you if Tibbs can win the big one.
Yeah, I think he can win the big one.
Okay. He's not like Sean McDermott of the Buffalo Bills.
Mike McDermott.
Bro, that killed me. Last episode, I was just saying the wrong name of the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. The whole time.
Good. The whole time. Mike McDermott.
The whole time. All right, well, listen, since we're in the neighborhood of MSG, have you been affected by the blackout with the MSG networks?
No.
Okay, so what's your cable provider?
Verizon.
Okay, so Verizon, you haven't had a problem. So apparently
haven't had a problem.
The MSG network is going bankrupt. That's what I said, because remember a little bit a while ago, they had the Gotham channel, and they were trying to consolidate everybody into this Gotham channel.
Yeah.
No idea what that is. They need to stop effing with people. MSG Plus had everything. Had Nets, Jets, Islanders, Long Island Lizards, the Dragons arena football team. I'm making that up. But yeah, they had everybody. And now all I do is I turn around because I don't have a TV. I don't do TV. I just take everything off the internet, and that's how I watch it. But people are pissed. People are absolutely pissed. You have the best Knicks team. Rangers fans are probably not so pissed they can't get the MSG right now.
Playing a bunch of softies and Rangers.
Yeah, but the Knicks, man, you got probably one of the greatest seasons and greatest assembled New York Knicks teams, and they're not being able to watch it. Real quick, I want to tell you a funny story. So me and Chris are old enough to remember that the Yankees were on Channel 11 WPIX, okay? They had Phil Rizzuto as their announcer. He would leave in the 7th inning to get home and beat traffic to go home to his wife. But long story short, around 1994, 1995, there was an announcement made. The Yankees will not be on free TV anymore, which they were because baseball was free. They're going to be on paid TV. They're going to be on the MSG network. $40 a month. I went up to my dad And at the time in 1994, $40 a month is like $80 a month. And I go, hey, Dad, can we get baseball? He goes, yeah, sure. Gets me in the car, drives me to Radio Shack, and buys me a transistor radio. He goes, baseball's for free, Eric. All you have to do is listen to it. So we never got the MSG network, okay? So I'm never buying this new network. I'm not buying anything that they suggest to me, Christopher. As a fan, do you think that Dolan is doing the right thing here, or he's kind of hurting the fans?
I don't know who to blame in the whole thing. Like, is it MSG yanking it? Is it the Optimum Cable, the parent company, saying, no, we're not going to pay? Like, I really don't know who to blame.
So
but, like, how come Verizon has it, but Optimum doesn't? Like, it's
you
just
got to remember,
strange.
Dolan sold his company, Optimum, to a French company named Altice.
Yep. No, I know.
So there was apparently a little bit of bad blood. You know how Dolan is, man. Like, he takes personal affronts very easily. You know, I mean, he's doing face recognition outside of MSG and throwing people out of Radio City for the Christmas spectacular.
Yeah,
Merry
for
Christmas.
mean tweets.
Put an egg in your shoe and beat it, Chris.
Look, I think it's in this day and age. Look, nothing's free, right? We know that. With NFL, you need 17 streaming services to watch every game.
Anything.
But I feel like, why don't all these owners just come together and create one New York channel and, like, that be it? Like, maybe it is MSG, but I mean, like, Knicks, Nets, Islanders, Rangers, Yankees, Mets, like, just package it all up so that people know that, like, if they get this, they can have this full spectrum of New York sports.
And it's funny you say that, because apparently they're in talks. This is the MSG network. They're in talks with Amazon to save the MSG network because it filed for bankruptcy. Now, if you look at this, okay, now I am a fan of James Dolan, okay? I like his tactics sometimes. I like him saying to the state, hey, screw yourself with your liquor license. I'm going to stop selling booze because I don't drink. I'm going to just stop selling booze at MSG. And people lost their minds. Imagine trying to watch hockey without being intoxicated. It's almost like fishing and not being drunk. It just doesn't happen. So he's had a long history of telling people where to go shove it. And I got to admit, though, dude, Woody Johnson can find out a lot from Dolan. Because what did Dolan do? Dolan was constant with the Isaiah Thomas Knicks. He had a stranglehold on that franchise. And what happened to the Knicks? When they got good, Dolan let off the reins. He let the basketball people, he let Leon Rose come in and do it. That's what Woody Johnson needs to do with Aaron Glenn now. He was at the press conference and he's like, well, that's up to the GM and the head coach. And now, Chris, we got a new head coach of the New York Jets, Aaron Glenn. Second to third pick for me. In pecking order for me, it was Pete Carroll, Flores, Aaron Glenn. Yep. So I like the press conference. It's better than Duval. What is that? Duval. What? I watched it. Do you ever watch something so much that you hate it?
I thought it was AI.
Bro, I thought if that guy walked into a Arby's, and no offense to people that work at Arby's, great place, would you let him manage your Arby's? I don't think so. That falls into the Adam Gase land of the eyeball, bro. Like, and this press conference is becoming a thing for these general managers too. Do you notice this is like the SummerSlam hot take, you know, with Coco Beware backstage. You know, brother, I'm gonna be the coach of the New York Jets, brother, and say you bride of it. It's all a bunch of dog and pony act.
Well, here's the weird thing about Liam Cohen. I saw this article about he's never worked anywhere for more than one season.
Who? Like, Liam Cohen?
The Jags head coach. Everywhere he's been has been a 1-year stop. It's like UMass to Kentucky to the NFL to the Rams, back to Kentucky to the Rams, back to Kentucky. Like, it's strange.
Yeah, he's probably a cornball. He's probably a weird cornball, like Pete Alonso. Like Pete Alonso. Like, I can't wait until he gets signed, because it's just gonna be like they're gonna be like, oh, it's this fucking guy again. Like, you let him back in. Well,
he's coming to the Mets.
He is. If you look at the Jets, I just looked at their whole staff that they just signed. I got to admit, I'm okay with it. It seems like a bunch of young, hungry, up-and-coming dudes. But when you look around, you see inexperience all over the place on that sheet. There's 8 dudes who have no. There's one guy that's done this before, the defensive coordinator for the 49ers, has been in that role. All those other guys have been in tertiary roles with their other teams and never been the dude. Assistant offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Nobody's. It's like where the Yankees play defense. It's like their defensive positioning. They have Dominguez in left. They have Judge in center. It's like, no. Put the guys where they belong, okay? Put them where they're supposed to go. It's another example. They're doing the same thing over again. And they're hoping they get it right. They're hoping they get the Mike Tomlin, the Tony Dungy, the Mike Vrabels of the world, former players that can do this. I get excited about thinking about Aaron Glenn coaching up Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, look,
because Aaron Glenn's like, I wish I had your frame. I wish I had your size. I would have been eating burgers and doing push-ups, you know? And these guys are going to be unnoticed, man. This soft as puppy shit Jets stuff is out the window. But I sit here and I talk like I know what I'm talking about. They're going to get 4 wins again next year.
That might be 100% true, but I don't know that it'll be because of a lack of experience. I don't know that it'll be because
curse? Because they're cursed?
No, look, I think, like, one thing I came away from that press conference thinking is, like, I think Glenn and this GM will weed out the cancers. And whether that means trade Garrett Wilson, trade some unhappy folks, like, so be it.
If I was Aaron Glenn right now, I would clean house. So get this. This is the conundrum that the Jets are in. The Jets need Aaron Rodgers. He is the best option at quarterback with a 24-10 season last year. The best option that they got. But if you look at the bodies in the wake of Aaron Rodgers and head coaches and the amount of people that the Jets employed last year, I think the number was 13. If you're Aaron Glenn and you want to stay a long time in this town, get rid of Aaron Rodgers immediately. You can't have a guy with senioritis sitting in the locker room, smoking butts in the bathroom while you're trying to discipline the rest of the team.
Calling Woody.
Yeah, well, apparently that relationship is not good. Woody and him do not like each other. He is friends with Woody's brother. Because this all went down when Woody was the ambassador to Britain.
Right.
So he hired the brother hired Robert Saleh. Woody Johnson's brother got in talks with Aaron Rodgers. That's how the ball got rolling on that thing. So I don't know, man. You have Woody Johnson saying, these guys, I'm going to give them the keys. And then yesterday in the paper, they say that we have to report directly to Woody Johnson.
Yes.
So it's like an alcoholic, man. It's like, I quit drinking. And then he's behind the dumpster going, no, there's a problem here, Woody, and you need to change, and you're the problem. Now, question for you. I got my Giants question of the week for Chris. Giants question of the week. It's our new segment. What would you rather do? Would you rather get the quarterback this year, Sanders, or would you wait for next year? Could you put up with another losing season to try to get Manning?
Look, if you fall in love with a guy, take him, because the Giants suck at sucking. So, that's not a foolproof. Unless there's a path for us to trade for another first-round pick, but you can't punt an entire year on a maybe we get this guy. And
well, no, it's not a maybe. It's a lose every game. Well, Dable and Shane and Dable are in a contract year. They're never going to do that. I understand that.
Right.
This is all, obviously, this is all hypothetical, but I'm asking. That's not the question. I'm not asking you to live in reality with me right now, Chris. Come into Fantasyland. Come on, Chris. You come into Fantasyland with me. It's nice and warm in here. Fantasyland, and you can have a choice. You can either get Sanders now and restart the build, or you can let Shane and Dable go. You can start new with a Manning, new GM, and a new head coach.
I'm pressing the reset button 10 times.
Right?
10.
Immediately.
It's not even, 100%.
Just like I think the Jets need to hit the reset button. And a lot of people call me crazy saying that they should get rid of Gardner, they should get rid of Hall, they should get, first of all, running backs are the most replaceable thing next to deli clerks, okay, and waiters in this world. You can draft a guy in the 6th round. They're starting to come back a little in the NFL. This was the year of the running back. I get it. but positional players, running backs are like first baseman in baseball right now. The quality is down, and you're not getting paid for it, okay? So why not let go Hall, Gardner, let them all go, bro, and start new? This needs to be Aaron Glenn's team. We can't do half measures avail you nothing. If you're going to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, which kind of like the Giants are doing right now.
It's terrible.
You know, like I would be like, you know what? We're going with Tyrod Taylor. We're going with the kid that we got from Florida State a couple of years ago when he's finally healthy. Of course, we only draft a guy with a torn ACL. But yeah, man, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing next year. We're going to start from the bottom. We're going to go to the top. I am excited to the fact that the Jets got a lot of that Lions coaching staff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I like that. And I think, to your point, this roster is going to look completely different. I think 1 year from now, when we sit down and it's like, who's left?
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
because we've been getting the same shit for 5 years. I don't know what the offense is. You still can't sit here on February 1st and tell me exactly what the Jets' mission statement was last year. What did they do well? I have no idea.
We thought it was going to be play. We thought they were going to play defense well.
Oh, yeah. But what they did was, like a bonehead, they get rid of Robert Saleh, so they take the only strong part of their team and they weaken it by making the defensive coordinator over his goddamn head and making him head coach. In hindsight, they should have brought Sexy Rexy in and made him that temporary head coach just for the end of the year, see if you can get a spark out of these guys, fire him, and then start anew. I would have done that. That was the only way that I would have brought Rex Ryan in. And by the way, I have to do a little message for everybody at home. If you guys think that Rex Ryan should be the defensive coordinator of this team, then you have rocks in your head. You're probably the same guy saying bring back Aaron Rodgers. Imagine a locker room, Chris, of Aaron Glenn, Rex Ryan, and Aaron Rodgers sitting in the same thing. And then Woody Johnson comes in and goes, hey, what's up, guys?
No.
Right? It would be the Twilight Zone meets Black Mirror.
Yeah, because Rex Ryan, in Rex Ryan's head, he thinks he's fucking Vince Lombardi. And like,
yeah, while his brother's been working the whole time.
It's not like let's go grab Spagnuolo or like a lifelong defensive coordinator. It's like, let's take this guy who's been talking about becoming the next Jets head coach for the next 6 months and stick him under a first-time head coach. Like it's just dumb.
You know what though?
Dumb.
I don't know. I don't know a lot about the defense coordinator that the Jets have, but just from me feeling it, right? From me feeling the ether in the air, I am loving the fact that this guy's the San Francisco 49er defensive coordinator because the defense is already installed. They have the San Francisco 49ers defense from Robert Saleh, the zone defense, which I would love to change. I'd love to see Sauce Gardner play some man-to-man, but he might not be physical enough to play man-to-man. That's why.
But again, he's big, he's long. Like,
dude, he could have, if he filled out, he could look like Cam Chancellor.
I just don't know what happened between his rookie year and last year.
No. Okay, now I meant to. You said that on the last show, and we're all entitled to mistakes, Christopher. But he had a great year. If you look at, it's kind of like when A-Rod had, just like Aaron Rodgers. He goes, my off years are somebody's best years. If you look at the Stratomatics, and listen, they could think themselves into any statistic that they want. I understand that, but I think Sauce Gardner is so goddamn good that he was getting a hard time this year about, guys started throwing to his part of the field. Wow. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, look, and I think it's just like, not bad luck, but like, you know what? He missed tackles, those types of things that stand out because the Jets, everybody was running it down their throats this year. Like, you're just like, God, just make a tackle, stick your nose in there, like not running away from people.
Well, it's like,
but I agree with you. He was so good. So even a little slight slippage like kind of stands out a little bit more. But I think the other thing is like, it just doesn't seem like those guys want to be here. No, it doesn't. Garrett Wilson does not want to be in New York. Like,
because, dude, when you're surrounded, you got to remember, when you get high draft picks, these guys have never lost in their life. Right. You go from Little Giants all the way to high school, all the way to college. They probably lost one fucking game, because they're the greatest athlete on the field until that point. So they don't like losing, and they've never lost before. And then they get drafted by somebody like the Cleveland Browns or the New York Jets, and it's just like, you look around you, man, and it's like, what is going on around here? Like, when you go to Ohio State's football program, like, let's just say, I'm going to jump out on a limb here, Chris. Everyone's got their shit together over there in that organization. Okay, let's just say it runs well. Like, when you go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're going to be like, wow, okay, these guys got their shit together. Like, it's an organization. You know, the NFL world has run out of Kansas City, Missouri for the past 7 years. No one likes to talk about that elephant in the room, that the fact of the capital of football is in Missouri, and people couldn't even find it on a map.
Look, stability, man. I think the one if I'm a Jet fan, the one thing I'm looking for next year is just playing hard. Like,
yeah, stable. But
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you just brought in everyone that's not stable, though. Like, stable would have been Pete Carroll and established dudes.
Yeah.
You're bringing the outsiders in here. I looked at the picture, and I have to admit, I do like the fact that there's going to be more African-American coaches on this team. I love that fact, dude, because, making players feel comfortable, somebody, you can relate to, man. And that's another thing. Who knows how Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, and Breece Hall are going to respond to Aaron Glenn's big brother, tough love approach.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll respond. Maybe that's what they want. Sometimes you got to, I don't have any, you do, but sometimes you have to discipline children, and it's for the best of them, right? You go, I'm doing it for the best of you, kid.
Yeah.
I am disciplined because you need it. You need it. And you need a little fucking smack in the mouth sometimes.
Just so many times you'd watch the Jets and the Giants too, and they're just not even competitive. Like,
yes,
from not even fighting. Like, come on. Like, we know the roster isn't great.
Yeah.
But at least freaking go to bat for the people in the building, for the person next to you who's fighting for a contract, instead of just bitching, moaning, and lollygagging all over the field. Like, it's like, I get it. I understand.
I have a request, Chris.
Yeah.
I just want the New York Jets to make it past the ALDS in Major League Baseball. Okay? That's around October 11th. Okay?
Yep.
I just want my football team, as I put that turkey wing in my mouth, I would like the Jets to be around 500. That's all. Not asking for much.
No.
And I'm asking you guys to go to YouTube and subscribe and follow to all of our content. Also, you can go to Spotify, Instagram. That's New York Minute. That's NEWYRKMIN, guys. It's the New York Minute Podcast. It's New York sports for New York nuts. And remember, if you can't be good, baby, be bad. Bye-bye.